All right, here we go again. Another episode of Casey Listens to New Music. Before we get into things, I want to talk a little bit about Anzac Cookies. So my sister-in-law is currently in New Zealand, Nora. She's in New Zealand, and she's doing teacher's college there, and we actually went to visit her. And one of the very first things we tried there were these Anzac cookies, and they are delicious. They're like coconut and oatmeal and honey and sugar and all this stuff like that. Anzac actually stands for Australian New Zealand Army Corps. And apparently these are the cookies that the wives would send the troops, I guess to make them feel more at home, or just something, I don't know the full story, but just something that the wives would send to their husbands who were in the army. And I got to try some, and they're delicious, and they're awesome. And Nora actually sent us some from all the way from New Zealand, made with love and care in New Zealand. So she sent us these. So if you ever get a chance to try Anzac cookies or look up a recipe, these are really delicious. Okay, so let's get to it. What is our random word for the day? Owner. The random word of the day is owner. Gotta get my earphones. Alright, gonna type owner into Spotify. Go to songs. And let's see something that I have never heard before. Heard of the band? Yes. Heard of One Republic? Let's see here. All right, let's try this. Owner of a Lonely Heart by James Farrelli from the album Vintage Cafe Lounge and Jazz Blends. So I'm guessing this is some kind of jazz music, which I'm definitely into. So let's check it out. Owner of a Lonely Heart by James Farrelli. Okay, so first thoughts, this is not at all what I was expecting. I don't know if because I saw the album name Vintage Cafe that it's kind of preconditioning me to think that this is kind of out of contemporary. But it's, acoustic guitar and vocals. It doesn't sound, necessarily like that, but let's keep listening. All right, that's it. Owner of a Lonely Heart by James Farrelli. So my initial impression of the song, again, it was funny because I saw Vintage Cafe, Lounge, and Jazz Blends. And so I was instantly thinking that this is going to be jazz. And then when the song started, I started thinking that it might have been, again, like out of contemporary. And then as I listened to it, it gives me the impression that it was a bit more of an independent recording. It didn't seem like it had that polish of a some of these big record labels or whatever. And like the thing is, it's hard for me sometimes because like when I hear this stuff and I think about, if I was able to actually produce a recording of that quality, I'd be like, man, that's like so crazy. Like I'd be so happy with myself. But if I compare that to like other professional recordings, I do think that this recording is lacking a little bit of that. Now, there's kind of some interesting instrumentation. I think the most interesting part of the song was probably the chorus. The chorus had some interesting vocals and interesting harmonies. When I was listening to it, I kept thinking about this older song, I've been through the desert, da 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 da. That's what I kept thinking, that song. I've been through the da 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 da. That's what I kept thinking of when I thought about the song. And even some of the lyrics, I kept thinking about almost like the desert or a highway going through a desert, something like that. That's what I kept thinking. Again, not something I'd probably put into a regular rotation, but it's interesting. It's always good to discover kind of artists who are, have indie kind of produced stuff and thrown onto Spotify. It's really cool that, Spotify gives these people that kind of out. So the song is Owner of a Lonely Heart by James Farrelli. Check it out. If you guys are new to this channel, there is a link to the Spotify playlist that has all these songs and any songs that I reference in this series. If you guys have any suggestions or if you guys have any comments, feel free to leave them. Check out Owner of a Lonely Heart by James Farrelli, and we will check you guys in the next episode. Bam. Bam. Can't stop the recording.